Ron Laster?
Yes. Good morning, board members, staff, and guests. Before I continue, before I go forward, you should have a packet that was submitted to TriMet yesterday by our executive director, who's sitting to my left, Paige Coleman. In that packet, there would be information on our Northeast Coalition of Neighborhoods TriMet Rider Advocate Program. There should also be a community support petition. And this morning, we provided additional brochure information, and there is a copy of what I'm going to be reading for further edification. My name is Ron Laster, and again, seated to my left is our Coalition's Executive Director, Paige Coleman. I have been a board member of the Northeast Coalition of Neighborhoods for 18 years, the last 3 years serving as board president. Our organization serves over 60,000 residents of the 12 inner Northeast neighborhoods, providing services, information, and a collective voice in issues affecting livability. For the past 15 years, our organizations have been wedded in contract with our Rider Advocate Program. 8 men and women, local community members, riding the bus and MAX lines, assisting TriMet in promoting safe ridership, providing rider information, intervening to mitigate potentially disruptive rider behavior, and conducting informational presentations to our youth in the schools and our seniors at senior citizen centers. As I am sure you are aware, the current severe economic situation, which has led to layoffs at TriMet and reductions in transit service, has also resulted in the ending of this community-based program effective September 30th. I'm here today on behalf of our community to thank you for the guidance and support you have given to the program over the last 15 years and urge you to seek the earliest opportunity to help us find a way to reinstate this extremely vital program. When we were first informed on August 5th that funding would only permit 25% of our prior budget, discussions on how to best deal with 2 prevailing issues at that time, summer youth ridership and the approaching start of the school year, ensued. It was at this meeting that it was decided that maintaining a full contingency of rider advocates through September 30th, thereby exhausting the budget, would best serve the mutual concerns of the community and TriMet. While we understand the dynamics of the current economic conditions and its broad-reaching impact at the local levels, I fear the loss of this program may lead to a wider disconnect between TriMet and the community. Since notification of our staff on August 6th, we at the Northeast Coalition of Neighborhoods have been very busy engaging community support, planning for contingencies, and settling the general sense of uneasiness that prevails in our neighborhoods. The Northeast Coalition of Neighborhoods rider advocates have been TriMet's personal commitment to safe ridership in the community. The men and women in green jackets, not police uniforms, user-friendly, helpful, and at times life-saving, need your support. The rider advocates work an evening shift. They start at 2, end at 10. Many of them, if not all of them, have family commitments, and that precluded them from actually being here this morning. In closing, I ask for your personal commitment in restating this program as a top priority. Let us continue working together to build strong, vibrant communities, complete with a safe, accessible public transportation system. I welcome your questions and comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Laster?
Good to see you.
My question. I've been one that have seen, I know quite a few of the those advocates, and I know them because of the work they do, not personally. Being an official, I've seen them control crowds at different basketball games and other entities after school over in the Northeast area, even though I live in Clackamas. And I was sorry to hear, matter of fact, I made a phone call to Fred and his staff regarding that issue. I hope that we will be able to reestablish that bond that we have made between the community and TriMet by using those advocates real soon.
I have no children of my own, and I often hear of my friends and neighbors tell me what it's like when they send their children off to school, different benchmarks. I've been involved with the coalition for 18 years. I was there when the program started, so actually visualizing a 15-year-old child of mine being cut loose, and I now can relate to that sense of loss, and you get concerned about what the total impact is to the broader community with regards to this. But I thank you for your kind words and observations.
Yeah, the Rider Advocate Program is one that I hated to see go to, but refresh me, my mind again. What was the total funding for that, and how did it work, again, between the two?
The total funding, I want to say 275, about, the total funding, 475, about 475,000. What we had done is entered into a contract with Northeast Coalition, and they then ended up recruiting the actual individuals, managing it, deploying, and all other things under, obviously, provisions within the contract. This was probably, all the decisions we had to make for cutting a service and others are always difficult, but this one was one of the most difficult. Let me be absolutely clear with everyone, and I'm meeting actually with Ron Page on Monday morning, but we think that the Rider Advocate Program has been very, very successful. It is a very difficult decision to be able to make this, and certainly, as requested, we would like to be able to see the reinstitution of this type of an approach, because we think that the community, not policing, but presence for people who are knowledgeable about, oftentimes know the children, the kids that are there, or their parents, or their guardians, is a very effective tool. But this was a very tough decision. We would have hoped that we could have continued at that 25% level. That just, I think the coalition concluded that he just couldn't really operate it. I have been in conversations with Dan Saltzman to see if there are ways to be able to at least continue parts of this. I think my guess is we'll talk some about that on Monday as well.
Point of clarification, with all due respect. Being a community-based organization, we spend 95% of our time looking inward as to how effective we are to our mission, which is our fellow community members. And we also spend, in the words of Yogi Berra, another 95% concerned about what the community hears and what their perceptions of us are. At the meeting which took place regarding the budget cut, which there were serious concerns and discussions at that meeting as to what will this look like. How do we continue a program that's been in existence, as you two gentlemen have indicated, and three gentlemen, significant impact on the ridership and the perception of safety and usability in our community? How do we make that work with a 25% budget? And at this meeting, we had some very serious, very concise discussions. And the consensus at the meeting, because this was August 5th, we're already into our new budget year. So it's not that we had time to reflect, go back, and come back. Our budget, our contract ended June 30th, August 5th, we're at this meeting. And when we looked at a 25% budget, which for all intent and purpose would equate to a number of options, none of them very pretty. When we discussed how this program would work with a 25% budget cut, and then we said, look, we're in August, in the middle of the summer, and the summer does have, let us not kid ourselves, definitive impacts on the transportation system. We have children, teenagers, young adults, in larger groups riding the systems than we do during the school year. More often. It is summertime nonetheless. And we also have a critical point when the school year begins. That's when we go out and try to train the school-age children who use the bus systems and MAX systems before and after school, proper etiquette, proper ridership, so that it's an enjoyable, welcoming experience for the entire community. So we don't have adults and seniors avoiding the system if they think school-age children are on the system. So those are two critical areas that we looked at, and the TriMet representatives, Paige and myself, that were engaged in this discussion, came to the realization, as it was approached to us, that perhaps to get us through the two critical points, summertime usage, start of the school year, to keep the program intact with 8 rider advocates until the budget was exhausted, which brings us to the end of September. So just as a point of clarification.
Sounds sounds like future talks are going to